Good day, Marvel fans. Welcome back to the Untitled Marvel Project. I'm your host, Tanner Dexter, joined as always by my sassy variant, Tucker Hazel. We're here to talk about Loki Episode 3, but before we do that, I'd like you to subscribe to this channel because we will be covering every single episode of Loki and subsequent shows and movies and games and all things of that nature. If you want to talk about us, if you want to talk about that things with us, you should join the Discord. That link is in the description. But Tucker, I sped through that intro so we can talk about Loki Episode 3.
Can we talk about Loki episode 3 that I think just from a sentence conceptual level has the coolest possible fucking sequence of all time with a Blade Runner futuristic city on a crumbling moon with two magic wielding dagger users fucking fighting their way to a ship trying to escape it.
Yeah.
That's possibly the single craziest, most badass, science fiction, insane possible sequence of all time.
Yeah.
And the production of this design of this episode with all of the background stuff and the crumbling planet.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And I've seen and gotten a little bit of hints from you that people are feeling this episode was really light in terms of plot progression. I guess a lot of people saying it's filler. I don't think you necessarily fall into that camp.
No, I don't think it's necessary character development and stuff for Sylvie. We've confirmed that she prefers to be called Sylvie now. A bit of a nod to an enchantress. Enchantress character in the MCU.
Which I think mostly means that she's the Enchantress that we're going to get in the MCU. It's that version of that character, a female Asgardian magic wielder.
Yeah.
It's our Enchantress, whatever.
It's our
Enchantress. Did get an Executioner in Ragnarok. So now we have an Enchantress and an Executioner. They're never going to meet. I think he's dead. I don't really remember.
I don't really remember either, to be honest with you.
But in all honesty, I was having so much fun learning about these characters and escaping the planet and all that. I don't really care that nothing insane happened to this episode. I think the set pieces are good enough. It's got probably the most action out of any of the episodes so far. And what we instead got was a break from TVA sets and time hopping to ground the characters, get Loki to use his magic and focus on variants revealing themselves to one another. And I think that's a really compelling concept, not only for those characters, but a way to flesh each one out, because now we have a reason for Loki to want to engage with someone on a deeper level, because it's another version of himself and he reveals things about himself. It's a really interesting way to get external introspection from them. So I don't know. I really don't have any complaints with the episode. I think this might be my favorite so far, though I prefer, just from a visual standpoint, I prefer the TVA set design and stuff. Yeah. But it's all going to tie back in together. And also this episode, it didn't feel the need to do that one-up cliffhanger ending that basically all the Marvel show episodes have.
Well, this does have a cliffhanger ending, which is
if they're going to die or not.
How the hell are they going to get off this planet?
But it's not like a pop moment. It's
not it's not like a big reveal. Exactly. But I was going to say, usually at the end, when we do these shows, I have to say we'll do the big spoiler up top, but there is no big spoiler up top. The most larger plot progression we get is Sylvie revealing that the TVA agents were not in fact created by the Timekeepers. They are people from various planets, mostly Earth, because they're mostly humans. But I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, they're people who are plucked from their variants, actually, who were basically just brainwashed and mind wiped to be TVA agents.
And I think, and I will take a point for this one. That it definitely fulfills my
TVA are
leading
bad.
Towards the TVA is bad. It's going to crumble at the end, and more multiversal stuff will become open. And I thought that was a good subtle way to reveal that. It didn't feel like a forced moment. It's she was just talking. He's like, are you fucking serious?
Hold on, back up a second.
Let's rewind and reveal this. And I thought that was a pretty cool moment. Yeah, and it does reframe a few things. In Mobius's brain, his fucking jet ski obsession is the one thing he's hanging on from his previous life.
He's a jet ski riding variant. Let me tell you. Yeah. When that happened, revealed when that thing got revealed.
Reveal happened.
Now, when that reveal happened, sorry. I'm sure a lot of people's brains went to, oh, Owen Wilson, jet skis, got it. So I would absolutely love if Mobius was some sort of like crazy mad scientist who, a la Back to the Future, made a time traveling jet ski.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think
That's really specific.
I think that would just be a really wacky, fun thing that I like. My brain immediately went there, but whatever.
But regardless, I mean, on a more external level, this is the episode where we got the shots from the trailer that were holy shit, like a crumbling planet
Yeah,
and like crazy alien vistas and craters everywhere and stuff. And
yeah,
it looked fantastic. Like, I think this is the best looking MCU or Disney Plus show episode from a like scale production.
sure,
Like, I didn't feel like, oh, this is made for TV stuff in the background. Like,
yeah.
sometimes you could tell the special effects are slightly watered
Hmm.
down. WandaVision Final Battle, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah.
Where it feels like it's not on the level of the movies, but I mean, from Loki's magic to the set design to the fact that there was fucking asteroids crashing down on this giant like barren mining planet, it
Hmm.
looked awesome, and
Yep.
and I'm glad that they mixed it up. Um, we'll get a little bit of it at the end of next episode, or the beginning of next episode rather,
Hmm.
as they escape it, but um, I really like this episode, and,
Sure.
and I feel like I'm in the minority for that, but I don't know. I'm glad that it's different from the other two because the other two
Hmm.
did feel pretty similar on the whole.
Yeah.
Like they were very direct continuations of one another,
Well,
and this one,
that was the beginning of the show. We get the first.
sure,
We'll split it into thirds, and this is our next two are going to be the middle.
hey,
So yeah.
good point, good
I
point.
will say a quick point on the alien planet crumbling and asteroids and stuff. Marvel, would it kill you to make some aliens who aren't just regular people? Would it kill
No,
you
that's very reasonable.
just to do that once?
Very reasonable. Yeah, yeah.
I'd say about a good portion, maybe half of alien planets that we visit are just populated with people who look exactly like humans.
Yes, yes. Which is a little bit underwhelming. One of my
Yeah,
favorite aspects of Star Wars is visiting a planet and it not only being one race, but just like a fucking smorgasbord of whatever
exactly.
goddamn thing they could whip up in the back room. I love that. And you get that in the Guardians movies
Yeah,
when they're hanging
exactly.
out in bars and stuff. And a little bit in like, I don't know, Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But that's really it. I mean, we've seen like the Skrull homeworld, but even then, Kree just look like people. Well, the
Yep.
Kree are like a mixture of
Some of
people
our
and then people who have paint on their faces to look
yeah,
like aliens.
exactly.
But I know what you're saying, and
Mhm.
honestly, I didn't even think about that because I was
Well, yeah,
so blown away by that set design of the
when they
train in the city.
when
But
they
you're right.
when they kicked open the door to the lady with the big like sonic cannon or whatever, I'm like, oh, they're just humans again. Great, awesome.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, great point.
But
I'd say it's a pretty minor complaint,
it
and
is a minor complaint. It doesn't detract from this episode. It's just like Marvel,
sure,
just get a little creative with
good.
your like aliens.
I will 100% concede that too, and
Yeah,
I honestly agree.
yeah.
But just one thing I think is interesting is this moon being destroyed sort of being a mini story within itself
Hmm.
in terms of it being a mining planet with the classes structure
Hmm.
um and the rich people being the only ones who are able to escape, and then honestly at the end seeing the ark be destroyed completely and no one can escape.
Everyone just stops fighting. It's
Yeah.
great because they're
And
like, what's the point? We're all gonna
exactly.
die anyway. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like that's a interesting reframing of like, the mental
Mm,
structure behind someone, their motivations for something. It's
yeah.
like, well, my only motivation is that I need to live.
Hmm.
And it was a little bit forced to have uh Loki have the tempad and then Sylvie be the only one who could fix it. Like that was just it was a means to an end for
Yeah.
them to hang out with one another. But I thought it was fine, and
Well, should we talk about them hanging out together a little bit? Because
that's the
that was the
episode.
bulk of this episode. Is
Yeah.
them, they sat on the train and they were having some back and forth banter.
Some
They were they were
gaffs.
they were ribbing each other, and then they got a little deeper, delved into some like backstory.
The
So
external
still,
introspection.
yeah, for sure, if you will. But so Sylvie's backstory is
We don't
she
really
didn't
know.
she didn't know her mother.
Yeah, which is what's different.
Which is why she's an enchantress, and Loki's more of a magician who can create illusions and apparitions and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah, because
and
Frigga's a witch.
Yeah, and she was just told that she was adopted. That's as much as we get for backstory, and that is the variation that makes her a Loki variant.
Yeah, I do think that it'll be interesting to see, and I bet we will get more explanation of how her timeline differs.
Why she doesn't want to be called Loki anymore.
Exactly. Well, of course, yes. That's like her main character thing. But I do think that we will get that, and this episode sort of acts as reestablishing what this Loki's memory is of like we know that he's raised by Frigga and that he was adopted and all that, but him verbalizing that and getting the reactions from Sylvia, then thinking about, oh, well, really, this whole situation is, what if my life happened differently?
What if?
And like, but you see what I'm saying is that like it allows him to like sort of think through his life and be like, well, if this happened differently, how would I be different? And then sort of, this is like a external version of that. And I think that's pretty interesting. It'll be interesting to see Sylvie's character sort of break down, because I'm sure there's a very dark past there that's leading to her wanting to do this. Like, we don't know her full motivations yet for why she wants to destroy the TVA. I'm sure there's a really fascinating story there, and I'm very excited to learn about it.
Well, yeah. And I'm sure there's a fascinating story there. And as Tom Hiddleston and Tara Strong also recently came out, she's the voice of Miss Minutes, the little animated clock. She said that there's something deeper and darker about Miss Minutes as well. Tom Hiddleston has said that, you know, there's some big like universe altering stuff coming up.
I'm sure there is.
MCU.
Well, I mean, the death of the TVA
yes.
would probably be pretty important.
Yes.
But I'm interested to see, because we haven't gotten a ton of Miss Minutes. She's just like a bit thing in like 3 scenes maybe. But if she's like, you know, an AI like who controls or brainwashes all the TVA agents created by the Timekeepers, and like maybe she has to like rebel against them when Loki reveals some secrets about the Timekeepers to her, like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see this fold all back in and come to a head.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll probably get some of that in episode 4. You know, we've had our bottle episode where we get to know the characters and know their backstory, whatever. Now I want Owen Wilson riding a jet ski, a time traveling jet ski, and the TVA
on a crumbling moon.
On a crumbling moon, the TVA to be completely dissolved. And I think, you know, we're halfway through the show now, so we're on the back slide into the climax.
And I'm excited to see A, how it plays out, but B, I feel like this is the show that has the most implications for the future of the MCU. And it'll be interesting to see as they wrap the show up, if they want to have like references or Easter eggs or cameos, or, you know, like parallel dimension, other versions.
We've hardly gotten any cameos. I think we were promised some, but you know, we should temper our expectations WandaVision style. So, but we'll be back next week with Loki episode 4, and every week after that. So thank you for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.